You mentioned the word failure in there, and when I did some research on you over the last few weeks, one of the things you do seem to be really pushing is this whole notion of failure is good. And you told the Direct magazine, you said we all need to have a bigger appetite for failure. So,
yeah, I mean, look, I don't say failure is good in and of itself, but you shouldn't be scared of failure.
Yeah.
If you're scared of failure, you won't push yourself. You won't find out, what you need to know. And
yeah.
I don't think I'm saying anything particularly controversial when I say you learn an awful lot more from when you get things wrong than when you get things right.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that it's easy to run a business when everything is going well. You really learn a lot about the quality of people running a business when things are going badly. So what I think we can't afford to do is to castigate people for failing. And I think in this country we're so much better at it now than we used to be. Everyone says, oh, the Americans, they celebrate failure. They don't, but they celebrate what people learn out of it. And we are starting to do that. And it's so true because if you don't get things wrong, you don't know. And when you get things wrong and then when you solve them, that is the most rewarding thing. And then you sort of think to yourself, well, the guys chasing behind have probably got to jump over that hurdle in some way too.
Yeah.
So it's more a case of saying don't be scared of it. If you're scared of it and you're worried about failing, you're not an entrepreneur.
Okay. So you once sent to the Telegraph when they were talking about why you do speak to entrepreneurs like you are doing this evening. You once said, quote, so much about entrepreneurship is about not being scared to give it a go. Therefore, as you hear somebody else talk about all the silly mistakes they made, it just empowers you and gives you confidence to say, maybe I can do this too. So, Ed, any particular big clangers or silly mistakes you can share?
Plenty. I mean, I think, so early days, I remember when we had just bought Flutter and we put these two businesses together. I'd spent quite a lot of money buying this business, relatively speaking, and yet I was umming and ahhing, or we were umming and ahhing about spending, a few £1,000s on a slightly bigger server. Yeah. These are the days when you had servers rather than the cloud. And we very nearly screwed it up because we put these businesses together and, we were doing 12, they were doing 3 in sort of round numbers, and you put it together and suddenly the combined business is doing 20. So there was a huge explosion of growth and we weren't ready for it. And yet we'd sort of said this might happen. And we were just a bit too timid, and we should have backed ourselves more there. Okay. We were playing catch up. I think I learned through that time is your most undervalued commodity. People talk about money, they talk about people. Time is a really, really crucial commodity, and so sometimes you have to do things in a overly inefficient, expensive way to sort of maximize time. I think the other thing, candidly, that we didn't do as we grew was recognize that everyone has a natural ceiling, ourselves included, and we probably weren't as good about sort of continuing to bring in the people that were going to take us to the next stage the whole time, when we should have been. Okay. I mean, they're sort of ongoing issues which you always face, I think.